Introducing the all-new Corolla.
Guam businessman Ysrael thinks he can give the government of Guam a better deal on a central high school than the current plan to lease to own the Cortec facilities in TIYAN. The facilities are used by Untitled Middle School, and the governor's proposed agreement would add additional buildings for charter schools and the DOE central offices. Israel's proposal? He says take a cue from the federal government and let a private company build the school on government land.
And I'm proposing to establish a locally owned company with local investors. It'll be open to anybody who wants to invest with me to build such a facility for government of Guam, built specifically for high school needs. And added bonus to Guam, we will not be asking for any GIDA certificate. All the interest and rentals being paid will stay in Guam, and we will pay taxes on it.
Ysrael says the governor's plan to purchase the TIYAN property doesn't make sense because the buildings are more than 50 years old and were designed for military housing.
It was trying to force a square into a circle. That's what they're trying to do with this TIYAN barracks, Marine Barracks building.
Off a day, my fellow Guamanians.
Governor Eddie Calvo used this week's weekly address to allow students to speak out on the matter. George Washington High School senior Kanani Arriola talked about what it's like to be on the Minilau campus with 2,700 other students and voiced her support to the governor's plan to purchase the TIYAN property.
We were happy when we learned that the government finally found a solution for us. The opening of a new central high school in TIYAN is a real solution. It may have taken a while, but at least our current leadership has answered our call. Opening a high school in TIYAN will hopefully cut the GW population in half, making our campus a safer place for everyone.
The Cortec solution would bring relief to the overcrowding issue at GW in time for the next school year. Under Israel's plan, construction would take at least 18 months. But Senator Ben Pangelinan, who has also been critical of the governor's plan, says a double session could relieve the overcrowding issue while the new campus is built.
Well, you know, GW accommodated JFK for a double session. It takes us, it'll take us maybe a year. We can save $5.5 million. That money goes directly to the GW community in terms of improvements to their facilities at the same time. And then we get a brand new facility built in that year, 18 months time. And then we can make the repairs at GW.
Pangelinan and Israel both say the TIYAN proposal is too costly, with a price tag of $43 million. Since the lease is paid through tax credits, the purchase would cost the government $125 million in tax revenue. It's also financed by Cortec at 7.19%, which Pangelinan calls a sweetheart deal.
It seems like this administration is just determined, to put money in one vendor's pocket by going this route of not even asking for bids for these buildings that they are adding. Even if the legislature authorized it, I still believe that we need to go out and give everybody a fair chance.
The governor's office, meanwhile, argues that the facilities are school-ready and that purchasing them would cost less than continuing to lease the property before returning it. And while the legislature has already approved the use of the buildings for educational purposes, Pangelinan says the purchase would still require legislative approval.
From what I've been able to review of the laws, there's no authority to pay for that purchase. So I think that if the governor exercises the option to purchase, my reading of the current statutes in place may require the governor to come back and ask for an appropriation to pay for the purchase.
The proposed lease agreement between the governor's office and Cortec is currently under review by the Attorney General. Gov Guam only has until next Tuesday, December 31st, to act on the lease-to-own option. Betsy Brown, PNC News.